Welcome, everyone. My name is Mama Carla Wiley. I am the teaching artist for this portion of the Only Embrace project. Um, we're going to be doing a talking cloth quilt. Actually, I've been working on it for quite some time. Um, there's a lot of things that are part of the talking cloth project. One are interviews with different business owners along the Fifth Street corridor, business corridor in Alney. For people who aren't familiar with the Alney section of Philadelphia, it is above Roosevelt Boulevard. It goes from Broad Street to Front Street, and from Roosevelt Boulevard to Cheltenham Avenue. The main strip of businesses is along Fifth Street. I live not too far from there, so I'm very familiar with those businesses, and I am a part of the consumers that are in that area. One thing that I noticed is that we were losing a lot of our businesses, especially during COVID, but even before then. We were losing them for a lot of reasons. They're mostly immigrant. It's an immigrant community. When I say immigrant, it's a lot of different folks. I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay. All right. We're as I was saying that um this interview is with one of my favorite owners on Fifth Street. And Sam's going to introduce himself and tell us about his business. Okay, Sam, take it away.
Okay, my name is Sam Oh. I am Korean American and I own a breakfast and lunch on North Fifth Street, Godfrey area. And this has been passed on from my parents to me. And I love meeting people around the neighborhood. And Carla and George has been our steady brother and sister, and I enjoy serving them. And I know that George and Carla will help others. So I don't have any problem helping Carla or George.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
Sam.
All
We
right.
appreciate that. I wanted to show you how's your video? Is it real good? Can you see?
Yeah, they're clear. Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't see. I don't know whether using the background is kind of hard, but can you see the
Oh,
square? Isn't it beautiful?
yeah, it is. Uh-huh. It is a square clamp. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, the fabric that I'm using is basically Korean patterns because of the
Mm-hmm.
conversation that I had with your mother. Could you
Oh,
tell us a
yeah.
little bit about the background of your mom and dad?
Okay, my parents are, my father is from uh, Daegu, Seoul, the South Korea, and my mother was uh, a refugee from North Korea. My grandmother and uh, uh, grandfather they flee the war in the 50s, and my mother was born in South Busan, where she was just a baby. I think she was in the belly when they
Mm,
were coming down the fleeing from the communism, and she was born in 51.
uh,
Uh-huh. And they settled in Busan, and they met in South Korea when they were just teenagers, and they grew up to be together and getting married. Uh-huh.
They are a lovely couple too. I love Sam's mom and dad. They're the best.
Yeah.
Um, why did they decide to bring the bakery to Fifth Street?
Okay, this was a Korean American community back in the 80s, right? And
Mm,
it was still Korean, a lot of Korean centered business area, and the bakery that we were running was Korean style pastries, and we were only factory in Philadelphia, and there was another bakery around the Cheltenham area, which they got delivered from New Jersey, but
mm.
they couldn't. As soon as we opened up, they were leaving. They closed their doors. So
Oh,
we started uh, uh, the bakery because my father's bake background when he was in I think before teenager he worked in a bakery in Korea, and so he has a, good foundation of prepping everything and making the dough finalizing,
hmm.
and that's why he wanted to uh, he wanted to bring a bakery into the Fifth Street, which is Korean based community. But uh, after a while, everybody was changing up. They were leaving, so we had to let go.
But it's so funny because people still, say, "Oh, we wish that Mr. O was still baking."
Uh, but it's the same as the mom and pop bakery around the country. They are pushed pushed away because of the all the supermarkets have their baking facilities,
Hmm.
and mom and pop's bakery doesn't have any parking space, the volume that they need to survive.
Yeah,
So they are just changing their business to another. That's a it's a nature of the business. I think nature of the capitalism.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Uh-huh.
Well, one
Yeah.
thing I will say is that Sam is always busy. It seems like it seems like you guys don't slow down too much.
Uh,
Um,
mhm.
you've seen it change a lot since you've
Yeah.
been there, and
Uh-huh.
I wanted to know, as you've seen it change, what things do you think um need to keep on Fifth Street or need to bring to Fifth
Mm.
Street in order to make it more productive?
I it's just my opinion, right? And
Oh yeah.
this is just economy. Yeah, after 2008, when the market real estate market crashed,
Hmm.
I saw a whole lot of change. But until 2000 early 2000, I have seen the same business minded people coming in and out, trying to set up a business in the Fifth Street.
Hmm.
But I uh, I think it was the economy that hit the most. Yeah, at 2008, after 2008, people were leaving. They were selling the business, and they were more vacant buildings on Fifth Street.
Yeah.
So, uh, uh, so main the
Uh,
change. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
got pulled
okay.
in.
No, that's really good, Sam. What I was asking is, what things do you think need to come to Fifth Street in
Come to Fifth
order
Street, right?
and would
So
do well there?
okay. So the yeah uh the nature of the yeah 2008, the market crashed, economy fell, and a lot of people left, and uh the it's about the economy. At least the people that are working hard, they live around the area, so we have still a little foundation of the the working families trying to survive, and they have uh, brought they kept the Fifth Street alive. But for business people to come in and to survive in this Fifth Street, the economy has to uh, uh, the economy has to get a little better. Yeah, and the for the business minded people to open up and survive is always always how much business they can do in the in its own Fifth Street.
Okay, I
So
do, yeah, I do understand that.
yeah, yeah, I want the all the uh, wholesalers still. There are some of them in there, but I would love to see the uh, all the business that were doing braiding, clothing people, uh, the extra uh, fruit vendors,
Mm,
vegetable vendors, right?
yeah.
And uh-huh, and some of the wholesalers are gone, and they left the whole huge building empty. So if they have the opportunity to come back, I would love them because they bring life to the Fifth Street, and people when they come in, right,
Mhm.
they spend money on Fifth Street. Yeah, the retail survive, and that's a chain right there. So
Okay.
yeah, but not specifically. I don't have any ideas of what kind of business uh, I have in mind. But uh, back in before the economy was bad, the things that were running well, I would I would love them to come back.
I also wanted to ask, I know that our last
Hmm.
grocery store up our end,
Hmm.
up our
Sure.
end of Fifth Street,
Hmm.
has closed.
Right. Uh huh.
That's a big hole for my husband and I. I know that,
Oh yeah,
and I
yeah,
know that that's hard for you too because you.
yeah.
I mean, we all,
Convenience. Hmm.
yeah. I mean, we all went to them. It's not like
Hmm.
we didn't go to them, but I know that it was hard for them to survive during. I mean, they
Right.
really hung in there during COVID,
Yeah.
during the beginning of COVID, and that
Uh-huh.
I know that that was difficult.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of our vendors are aging.
Right. Yeah. That's a special. That's the most reason that they closed. I think they were aging, and the Mister he was uh, he was he had to transfuse the blood.
Mm,
That's why they couldn't keep up with the business, uh, the they couldn't maintain the distance when they were open for business.
yeah,
They were complaining about maintaining distance of everybody that comes in, so they couldn't hire a doorman just to keep people going in. So eventually they sold. Yeah. Hmm.
let's hope that we have another one opening. I hope so.
Yeah, they're under construction right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and I hear that the building is the highest point on the Fifth Street right now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
they have antennas on top of the building. So I think the building is gonna survive with different people, but I don't know with how they are gonna change it up. We don't know yet. Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
But Sam, I'm not going to hold you too much longer because I know you're
So
tired and I know you've had a really long day. And I thank you
yeah,
for giving me some time.
uh-huh,
Um,
definitely.
I will say that I'll be stopping past to bring the clipboard. So
Okay,
let me explain a little bit to those who are
okay.
listening.
Hmm.
Um, the clipboard that I'm bringing to Sam is basically a clipboard for his customers to
Hmm.
write down good words. These
Okay.
good words are going to go on our on his quilt square, along with the a picture of your business
Uh-huh.
out front.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh, I was going to use the one that was online, Sam, but I think I'm going to do another one. I'd love for you
Okay. Gotcha.
to be out there too when I take the
Okay.
picture.
That's it.
and um and on it will be all the good words that customers leave. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, Sam is busy all the
Uh-huh.
time
Okay.
with Uber Eats and everything else.
Uh-huh.
And I know you've really done well. And I also want to compliment you on
Mm-hmm.
hiring young people from the neighborhood and
Mm-hmm.
encouraging them. And
Okay.
I know it's not easy.
Right. Yeah, they have too much phone on their hands.
Ashe.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thank you again, Sam. Thank you so much for this
Okay.
interview.
All right. Thank you, Carla.
All
Always
right.
thank you. And I'll see you Monday, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm
Bye.
resting tomorrow.
Okay. Please rest. Bye bye.
Okay, Carla. See you later.
See you later.
Okay. All right.